In the quiet town of Eldridge, nestled among rolling hills and dense forests, lived a man named Thomas Calloway. Despite the serenity of the town, Thomas carried a secret that haunted him throughout his life. It was a secret that began one fateful summer when he was just a boy. The Calloway family had a summer cabin by Willow Creek, a serene spot with a meandering stream and towering trees. Thomas and his younger sister, Lily, cherished their time there, exploring the woods and fishing by the creek. One particular evening, their parents had gone into town for supplies, leaving the children alone. Thomas was 15 and Lily only 11, but the responsibility of watching over his sister felt natural to him. That evening, the air was thick with the scent of pine, and the sky was a canvas of oranges and purples as the sun set. They decided to explore a part of the forest they hadn't ventured into before. As they wandered deeper, the trees grew denser and the shadows lengthened. The forest was quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves. After a while, Thomas noticed an old, weather-beaten cabin partially hidden by overgrown vines and branches. Curious, he suggested they investigate. The cabin seemed abandoned, its wooden walls cracked and faded, with broken windows that stared out like hollow eyes. Inside, they found remnants of a past life, dusty furniture, cobwebs, and old photographs. The air inside was cold and still, a stark contrast to the warmth of the evening outside. They were about to leave when Lily noticed something odd, a large, ornate mirror covered in a dusty sheet. Drawn to it, she pulled the sheet away, revealing a tarnished frame and a reflective surface marred by grime. Thomas, feeling uneasy, suggested they return home, but Lily insisted they stay a little longer. As Lily examined the mirror, Thomas felt a strange chill. The air seemed to thicken, and a low, almost imperceptible hum filled the cabin. He looked around but saw nothing out of the ordinary. When he turned back to the mirror, his heart nearly stopped. The reflection showed not just Lily and himself, but a dark figure standing behind them, cloaked in shadow. Thomas spun around, but the cabin was empty. His pulse raced as he turned back to the mirror. The figure was still there, closer now, its features indistinguishable but unmistakably menacing. Lily was oblivious, still fascinated by the mirror. Desperate to leave, Thomas pulled her away from the mirror and insisted they go back to the cabin. The walk home was tense, with the forest now feeling unnervingly silent. As they reached the cabin, Thomas glanced back at the forest, feeling an unsettling presence watching them. That night, Thomas and Lily couldn't sleep. The cabin seemed to be alive with creaks and groans. Thomas lay awake, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the image of the shadowy figure. In the dead of night, he heard a faint, mournful cry, like someone calling from a distance. It seemed to come from the direction of the old cabin. In the morning, their parents returned, and Thomas and Lily told them about the strange experience. Their parents dismissed it as a product of an overactive imagination, and they decided to leave the cabin early. Years passed, and Thomas grew into adulthood, but the memory of that night never faded. The image of the shadowy figure and the eerie cry from the forest remained etched in his mind. He learned that the cabin had once belonged to a hermit who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and locals whispered of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings in the area. Thomas never returned to Willow Creek. The cabin was eventually swallowed by the forest, and the mirror was lost to time. But the haunting presence of that night lived on in his dreams and in his darkest thoughts. He learned that some places, and some memories, are best left undisturbed.